up, protect your chains, and make sure your Broncos coverage isn't...
Hello, listeners. Welcome you back to the In-COM-PLETE podcast, where your coast-to-coast host provides you with news, coverage, and opinions of all things Denver Broncos, plus anything else that is on our minds. I am Ty, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host and best friend Kelly. So, I understand that Denver now runs Texas, if I'm not mistaken.
And New Jersey.
And New Jersey.
Let's see. We went to Dallas to face the number one. Oh, no, Dallas came to us with their number one offense and couldn't score anything. Their quarterback couldn't even finish the game.
Yep.
So we go to Texas to face one of the they were calling it the number one defense. I've noticed it's changed this week to one of the top defenses in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And they couldn't quite stop us.
Yes. It's just a fun time, I guess. Just a fun time. Like, oh, there's the best of this, the best of this. Well, they haven't played the Denver Broncos yet.
They haven't played fourth quarter bow.
Yep. But we are celebrating the Denver Broncos winning their 6th game in a row.
And this is a first for the podcast.
Say again?
I said this is a first for the podcast, 6 games.
Yes, that's right. I think we'd only gotten up to 5, and I think that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago, we had a 5-game win streak going into Houston, and we lost.
Yep. So, in a sense, we kind of exercised some demons there in Houston.
Every streak's gonna. I think Talib was right. Sean Payton is the streak breaker, and we're just gonna break all the streaks.
All right. Well, guess we'll have to see if it gets to 7. But because 6 victories in a row is something that I don't think I'd ever witnessed before. So 6 whiskey. I actually put 6 ice cubes in this whiskey today to celebrate 6 straight victories. So I know it's going to be probably a little watered down now, but that's okay.
I was going to say, I don't think that's how you're supposed to drink whiskey, but you know.
Yeah, I usually drink it neat. But I'm like, I need something to symbolize that we've won 6 in a row. So maybe
I have a vodka soda in my blingy Bronco glass.
Very nice. And so, cheers to our 6th straight victory. The Houston Texans were one of the top defenses, and Denver just once again proves that they can win when all the odds are stacked up against them.
All of them.
And on that note, cheers.
Cheers.
However, unlike the Dallas game, this game wasn't as a beautiful victory.
No, we're back to offense isn't going to show up for 3 quarters.
Mm-hmm.
But we are 4-0 when trailing at the start of the 4th quarter. So if you want to win against the Broncos, maybe let us lead for a while.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, let Denver get off to the head start, and then you guys come back. But we are going to recap this game. This one, I will say, was very tricky to kind of, as bad as it was, as far as good, bad, and ugly, which I found a few on all three phases, but not the 3 phases of the game. But it was a little tricky just because I expected it to be a defensive battle, which it ended up becoming. And I think that's why I don't see a whole lot of overwhelming bad and ugly, if I do say so myself. Although I'm pretty sure you will help with that part of
it. So actually, I wanted to start with a couple general notes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, CJ Stroud got hurt.
Okay. Yes.
The tackle was not dirty. It was reviewed in real time. The flag was picked up. It was a clean hit.
Yes.
He did not slide until it was a little too late.
Mm-hmm.
You know, his coaches should go over that with him. He needs to slide sooner, or if he's really going to fight for that first down, he needs to cover the ball, duck his head, and take the tackle.
Yes.
That's just, he's got to figure out how he's going to do that. Stroud is not a big quarterback.
No, he's not.
So I don't know that he can do the things that Lamar Jackson does, or Josh Allen does, or even Bo Nix, because he's not quite as, we saw him at the one. He doesn't make the push. He doesn't seem to have that power in him.
CJ Stroud. I was going to say CJ Stroud is 6'3", only 218 pounds.
I don't know about only, and I know he's bigger than me, but
right.
But and I'm not saying this in a derogatory way. I'm just saying, watching him play and how he plays, he does not
protect himself.
Well, but he doesn't play like Lamar or Allen, that will kind of truck you to and truck you back.
Gotcha.
That's just not his style of play. Mm-hmm. So if he doesn't, and I understand he knew he hadn't gotten the yardage yet. He didn't really slide till he thought, he thought he was a little bit closer, but he's got to be aware at that point. If you slide that late, you should just take the tackle.
Yeah.
Because you can protect yourself against the tackle.
Mm-hmm.
So,
absolutely.
He's got to tuck his chin, cover the ball, and take the tackle. And the coaches aren't going to let him. He's going to do that a couple times, and the coaches are going to be like, "CJ, dude, no." So I've seen a lot of comments, throwing back to Bountygate and, oh, Denver's defense is dirty. CJ was lighting it up on you, so you took him out. Number one, this was not a Bountygate thing, and I don't want to see it compared.
No.
Number two, CJ had gone 35 yards in 14 plays. He couldn't score from the one and had to settle for a field goal. And then he slid. He was not lighting it up.
No.
That is not the definition of lighting us up. And, Denver's defense isn't dirty, but they're playing real football.
Right.
So just like our intro says, strap up. You're in the NFL.
Yeah,
so
strap. Yep.
Strap up. And quarterbacks can't throw those hospital balls. They were doing this hit, and then the one hit on Nico Collins. Tell your quarterbacks not to throw hospital balls.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then even the national media, if CJ stays in, that's not the game. Well, no, it wouldn't be the same game. But if CJ stays in, it was only 3-0 when he got out.
Right.
And he didn't make the first down. So even if he had got tackled on that play and not hurt, they were going to punt the ball. He didn't make it to the first down. Mills didn't make any real big mistakes. I can't even really think of a lot that he did wrong. We were out. Surtain and Mims and Cooper left the game at some point. So, if you want to play the what if game, if we have Surtain and Stroud stays in, Surtain picks him off 4 times.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. Let's let it, and we'll talk about this because this is my one and only ugly. Bandy gifted y'all points.
Oh, I actually had Bandy under the bad, so I'm glad you said that.
Bottom line, it's a win on the road versus the number 1 defense. And all week leading up to this game, the hype wasn't, we'll see CJ versus Nix. We'll see if Bo Nix can hang with CJ Stroud. It was, there wasn't any promise of this being a shootout.
No.
It was, can this offense, Bo Nix and Sean Payton's offense, that is off to these slow starts, that doesn't get points on the board, that don't seem to come alive in the fourth quarter, can they hang with the real defense? Because the 44 points against the Cowboys were easy because they're the worst defense in the league. Can they hang with number 1? That was the story. And when the storyline is yes, we can. Now it's they didn't have CJ. CJ wasn't a factor all week.
The national media loves changing their tune.
So,
Yeah.
So before we got into that, I just wanted to clear those 2 points up.
No, that's perfectly fine. Because I knew the CJ Stroud thing was probably going to end up coming up at some point this podcast. And I mean,
well, I take offense to my players being called dirty.
Oh, absolutely.
It wasn't a dirty hit.
Mm-mm. It wasn't like they were intentionally, like Harry Douglas did, chopped at Chris Harris Jr.'s knees.
Well, my thing is last year, Azir,
yeah,
on the Texans got fined because he did hit Lawrence in the head after the Texans had a huge problem with it. Coaches out there yelling about what do you expect a defender to do? Completely had his defenders back when it was a bad hit.
Mm-hmm.
When it was head to head. Then when he can see and it's reviewed and he hit his chest area, it was a clean hit. CJ's head hit the turf. That's what gave him the concussion.
Yep.
And they said, nah, you got to pick up the flag. It was, the defender was committed. He was not in the slide before the defender committed, and then it wasn't head to head. He hit his chest, which is where he's allowed to hit. And because at first they were like, well, even if it's just in the shoulder area, it's going to get called. It's nowhere near his head and shoulders. Mm. And then you're going to come out and say he should still be fine. I've got no respect for coaches like that. You can have your players back, but then you can't come out and be like, oh, man, I can't believe it wasn't a dirty hit.
I'm sorry. When you said head and shoulders, I automatically thought of are you sure it wasn't knees and toes as well?
Well, you can't hit him high. You can't hit him low. You can't hip tackle him. I mean, I don't know how anybody tackles in the NFL. Every body part has been named off limits.
Yep. Someone said it's going to end up becoming two-hand touch at this point.
It's going to become flag football.
Yep.
Put flags on him.
Absolutely.
But I'm sorry he got hurt. I didn't want him to have a concussion.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was actually
I'm glad he's okay. I'm glad after the game, him and his mama at the hospital. Oh, CJ's fine. Good. I'm glad but don't call my player dirty because football happened. It's football.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. And I actually was thinking about didn't Houston get penalized for the same thing last year? And thank you for jogging my memory of that because I knew something like that happened last year. So, yeah. I had 2 uglies actually. My first one was that
I said I only have one.
And they're mostly nitpicky uglies. The first one. The first one was Denver's first field goal getting blocked. I'm sorry. I actually had to look back at that play, and weren't we called? What was it? 7 weeks ago for leveraging or whatever that penalty was called. It looked like Autry did the exact same thing
to our center. I don't see a clear shot where it's on the center. It looks to me like it's on the guard, but maybe if someone can send me a clear shot. I don't see where the center is being leveraged.
Okay.
And that's really what the rule has come down to. You can't touch the center.
The center, okay. Oh, maybe then it was. Oh, I think it was more towards like this side. So maybe it was the guard that was touched.
Yeah, when I see the guard, there's leverage on the guard. But my understanding of the rule is that it can't be on the center with the ball.
Gotcha. Okay. I'll have to look into that. But I mean, either way, the field goal get like
they're really good at blocking field goals.
Yeah,
I even said we practiced all week. It's been on our mind. They are good at blocking field goals.
So where was that, Rizzy? Where was that? And I know you have some thoughts on him as well. So, the only other ugly I had was the Houston Texans opening drive, a 14-play drive. Which the good part about it was it ended in a field goal. So I would prefer 0 points, but rather a field goal than a touchdown. But 14 plays and take off almost half of the first quarter before Bo Nix could even touch the field.
The whole first quarter, we had one possession.
Exactly.
I was like, well, we can't come back if we don't have the ball.
Right. I guess their plan was just to stay on the field for as long as they could so they can keep Bo Nix on. So that way we'll gather up all these points. And then by the time he comes out, that's going to be too much to come back from. So, but fortunately, the Broncos defense actually kept Houston to I'll save that because I'm going to save that in the good. But they did a good job. We'll say that. All right, you're up for bad.
My ugly.
Oh, you have your ugly. Okay, go ahead.
Special teams. Period. We can't build a return. We have a muff punt. Players are on the bench when they're supposed to be on the field. The Texans won the field position battle all freaking game. And they blocked a field goal.
Yep.
The whole unit. All of them. Ugly.
There's probably one on special teams that I'm not going to say is ugly, but I will get to that when we get there.
Okay.
But yes, I agree.
That was my only ugly.
Okay. Hold on. Oh, we're good. So I'm like, what's that downpour? Like, oh, we're like getting like torrential rain. I didn't even realize it. Like, I didn't know it was supposed to rain today. So
it
sorry.
Rained all day here.
What's that?
It rained all day here.
Oh, I wonder if it fast tracked itself over here then. Kidding. Yeah, so regarding special teams, like, I get it. Mims was out. Bandy probably hasn't had a whole lot of experience back there. So I'm willing to give him a pass. That's why I only put him in the bad part of it. But it did lead to points, which could have ended up costing us. So I could understand that mindset. But yeah.
When especially on the coverage. Up from practice squad in your first game, you're supposed to step up, not mess up.
Oh, I like that. Trademark that. Step up, not mess up. I like that. But it wasn't just. I will give you credit on this one. The coverage on special teams was yikes, not good.
All especially. I mean, you've heard me say it. They wouldn't have flown home on my jet.
I wouldn't have either.
And so, Darren Rizzi, I would have left in Houston. But, he's Sean Payton's friend.
That's what I was going to say. Look, it must be nice to...
It's like someone asking you to fire me. It ain't going to happen.
I can see, like, all this and that. Like, no, Kelly is basically one half of the podcast here. Do you realize how things would go down if Kelly were not here? It's like...
I'm not fielding a team muffin punts and not knowing how to cover, though, in my defense.
Mm-hmm. It's like taking... It's like benching Bo Nix for Case Keenum. We'll go Case Keenum. Like the it's gonna go down if Kelly is not here. So that's all I'm gonna say on that. I think it was everything. Yep, that was everything on ugly. For me. And then you said you had that one ugly, so we're on to the bad. My only bad was the Broncos offense. Outside of the 2 touchdown drives and the game-winning field goal, it was very lackluster. They couldn't get anything going. They think they had 1 turnover, which was a Bo Nix interception, which
was a really good defensive play.
Yeah.
I mean, Bo did underthrow it. I'm not making excuses for him. But that safety came from the other side of the field and recognized, they ain't coming this way, and ran the width of the field to jump in front of that ball. That was a super duper defensive play. That is why they're one of the top defenses in the league. Absolutely. So, yes, Bo underthrew it, but there's not a lot of times the safety is going to come the width of the field to the ball.
Right. Yeah, so I pretty much marked that under the underthrow, and it was just a really good defensive play. But even with that, Crawshaw punted 8 times in that game. Like, that just shows that nothing was really working offensively. So,
yeah. So a lot of my bad we've heard before.
Mm-hmm.
The play calling.
Yes.
So first, there's a lot of talk, and you're watching the all 21, all 22. Wrong number. Bo doesn't take off running when it's open. So
I
would love to ask the question.
What's the question?
Is Sean Payton coaching him out of it? Is Sean Payton so focused on making Bo an NFL quarterback in what Sean Payton thinks that is as a pocket passer, as he made Drew Brees, that he won't modify to Bo's strengths?
Mm-hmm.
And if so, why? Mahomes, Allen, Jackson, Rodgers, all top quarterbacks in this league, and all have a run threat to them.
Yep.
And there's others. I mean, but those are just the big names everyone's going to recognize and know what I'm talking about. So is this Sean Payton coaching, or is this Bo not seeing that the field is open to run?
That's a good question.
Because I find it hard to believe he doesn't see it until the last play of the drive where he takes off for 2 runs.
I want to say it's the play calling, because I'm telling you, I counted at least a few times throughout that game where it felt like Bo was forcing the ball in one direction, and even looking at everything, it's like you have a lane to run. You have that dual threat ability. We saw you do it your rookie year.
Well,
if you don't,
and if nothing else, you could throw in a quarterback scramble or a quarterback design run to pick up a first down and at least extend the drive so we don't have so many 3 and outs.
Exactly.
That would solve our 3 and out problem.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we still may go 5 and out or 7 and out, but we'd start picking up some first downs. And again, rhythm and tempo and a cohesiveness.
Mm-hmm.
So,
it's.
And we can all say this together. Stop the motherfucking screen passes.
Yes. I saw that one coming.
Stop this. Stop it.
Wait, what's that quote? And I think it's Anchorman. It's like 60% of the time it does. 6% of the time it works every time, or something like that. I feel like that's Sean Payton's mentality with screenplays. 60% of the time it works every time.
Well, but number one, it makes it feel like Sean Payton is calling the game scared.
Mm-hmm.
There's no slants, no crossovers, no quarterback runs. And our screens, 90% of the time, loses yards. And that's not a real stat, but they lose yards. They lose a down. It kills momentum. The 1 time it works in a game, or the 3 times it works in a game, is not worth it for all the times they don't. And he won't talk about it, and he won't answer the question. But for the love of God, I just want to know why. Why? What is this big genius master plan that we have to throw 20 freaking screens a game?
I can't answer that one.
And when he's throwing the screens, you know why he's throwing the screens?
Because he lost yards. Or no, he's abandoning the run game.
Yes, because it abandons the run game. On the first drive of this game, JK had 4 runs with 24 rushing yards. In the game total, he had 15 carries for 61 yards. That's still it comes out to 4.1, but 4 yards a carry. 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 4 is 12. It's a first down. Why do you suddenly go, well, let's go backwards 3 first?
It's like, let's run forward 4, and then let's go back 3, and then just bomb it for 25.
The rest of the half after that first drive, he only called 2 rushes, 1 to JK.
I'm slamming my whiskey glass down because that's ridiculous.
And why, when we get in the red zone, do we try that sneaky, tricky, cutesy stuff instead of just fucking football? And all on Twitter at the same time, he goes, what the fuck was that?
That's what I wonder too. I don't know.
It's on your fucking play sheet. Run the ball, run the ball, run the ball.
Oh, Sandra Bullock. Stop with the trick plays. Run the dang ball.
Run the ball. Because what this and this is how it ties in, it doesn't give us a consistent offense.
Yes.
It gives us 3 quarters of what the fuck is this?
Mm-hmm. And if I'm not mistaken, we ran the ball pretty well against Dallas. Even though there were some times that it got stopped, we kept going and going and going and going, and it still ended up producing really solid numbers. Why is it that when we are running against Houston. We run 2 times. It's not working. Oh, let's just do a screen pass. I understand that you've got 2 guys at your edge or your linebackers that can do really well with stopping the run. That doesn't mean stop running the ball.
I am so happy we are 2 games in the lead in the AFC West. I'm so happy right now we would be the 2nd seed in the playoffs. I am so happy that we have won 6 games in a row. But I am telling you, on everything football, the 4th quarter magic is not sustainable football, and it is not playoff football, and it is not going to win us a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So I love it. Don't get me wrong. I sit there the whole game going, oh my God, I knew we were going to go to Houston. I knew this wasn't going to work. We're going to not get a fast start against the Raiders. And I'm going to go, God damn it. The Raiders don't care if they win any other game as long as they come into Denver and fucking beat us. I'm going to hate seeing Pete Carroll on my screen tomorrow night, chomping all his goddamn gum. And then 4th quarter is going to happen. Everyone's going to go, why do you doubt? Why do you doubt? Because one day it's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be the day we need it to work, and it's not going to work.
Right.
So, and I need to know, in quarters 1 through 3, can Bo not make the read? Can he not make 12 to 20-yard passes? Is he not progressing through and he sees check down or 30-yard bomb that he's going to overthrow, and he doesn't see the middle of the field? Because this matters in all the defending of Bo.
Yep.
Because at some point, I mean, just like with Tebow had 8 wins in a row. Tebow came in, 8 wins in a row, won a playoff game. It was beautiful. It was fun. It was exciting football. I get it. But it's not sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
And we are going to come up against the Chiefs, who are not going to let us go get 3 game-winning drives in a row. We're going to come up in the play. We might have to face the Colts again. They already stopped our 4th quarter magic. We're going to have to face freaking Lamar Jackson, who got a big break in the middle of the season. So he's not going to be as tired in the playoffs as he usually is. He's not going to be as worn down as he usually is. We need to know if this is true.
Right. Yep.
And I've said this before too. Our playmakers need to make plays.
Mm-hmm.
Bo underthrew some passes. He overthrew some passes. There's some argument. I can't tell who's running a route right and who's not, even on the all 22. But Sutton, 6 targets, 1 catch.
And his 1
Franklin,
catch.
9 targets, 4 catches. Ingram, 3 targets, 0 catches. Meanwhile, RJ Harvey, 4 targets, 4 catches, 48 yards, 1 touchdown. On the season, he's got 23 receptions for 162 yards with 4 receiving touchdowns, which are all best marks for a working running back.
Mm-hmm.
He's 16th in receptions all time and 4th in touchdowns all time. Are we sure he's a running back? Or is he a receiver? And we just, have
him back there.
Need to reclassify him.
Like one of the gadgets. Maybe RJ Harvey is that Joker everyone's talking about.
So the drop balls and the balls that you can catch them, they still bother me every week.
Yes.
So we've heard all those bad before. The drop balls, the abandoning the run game, who is calling the plays? Why are we calling all these screens? What the hell are we doing the first 3 quarters? Why the hell are we doing it? Same story, new episode.
It's like the next episode by Dr. Dre.
Yeah. With my pen and a pad.
Yes.
Don't make us get our gun.
All right. Any other bads?
Mm-mm.
All right. So I did talk about this earlier. My one good on special teams, Jeremy Crawshaw, 8 punts, averaging 53.5 yards per punt. His longest punt, 76 yards. Unfortunately, it was a touchback, so the net yards was 56, but still, averaging 54 yards, that's basically flipping the field.
It would be better if he could coffin corner some of those.
Yes.
Although now with all the freaking new rules, I don't know what the hell that would mean. You might get it to bounce out at the 2, and they may put it at the fucking 20 for some stupid reason.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get them. I don't get all the new kickoff rule. I really don't. I really don't understand why it was a touchback to the 20 and not the 35. The whole dude was in the end zone. I don't get it anymore. I don't understand all these rules at the landing zone. And it used to be that the ball out of bounds went to the 40, and now sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. I don't get it anymore.
Yeah.
They've overcomplicated and kick the ball to the other team.
Yep.
So, but he had a better day than against the Cowboys.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
The Cowboys had 2 punts, 40 yards a punt, which was terrible. But
is it because of the fact he only punted twice? Because he had a good game, or
no, he had a better day against the Texans than he did.
Oh, gotcha.
He
Okay.
had a better day than he did against the Cowboys.
Gotcha. Okay. Yes, he did. Let's see. All right, you go ahead.
So, the first one, again, just to wrap up the conversation, the fourth quarter clutch factor that Nick seems to have, 2 scoring drives, 1 with the 2-point conversion. Broncos outscore opponents 86-20 in the fourth quarter this year.
Yes. And I think the one you probably mentioned this earlier, 4-0 when trailing in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and we're 0-2 when we haven't trailed at all. So I don't want to enter a fourth quarter trailing either. Like, I don't want to enter the fourth quarter in the lead. We don't win.
Right.
We've been trailing for 0 minutes and 0 seconds in the fourth quarter. We lost both those games.
Crazy.
That's like, and I took that personal. So we're not going in the fourth quarter with the lead, no matter what you do.
Right. Riley Moss had a better game than
Riley Moss. I think this proves that some of the criticism he gets is ridiculous.
Yes.
So, he didn't really give up a big play, and he had no penalties against him.
Nope.
He had 8 targets. Barron had 4 targets, and Abrams Drain had 5 targets. So they still went to Moss more than the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
And he did pretty good. Nico got 7 catches for 75, and Schultz got 6 for 77, but no touchdowns.
Nope.
And, the PIs weren't on Moss.
Nope. And I will go on to add that we saw a gift from the current 21 to the legend 21 earlier this week.
Yeah, I liked when, I thought it was fun. Akeem Talib said, I need a Moss jersey, man. Hey, someone in the chat hooked me up with that. And one, I thought it was funny because he said, I'm not in Denver. a lot of Denver fans aren't in Denver. We managed to get our jerseys, Lieb.
Yep.
2, Lieb is floating in millions.
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean you can't get a jersey? And so I saw that criticism with how you get to have millions and not, ask us, the peons, the broke people, to get you a jersey. But I did defend him. I said, I think he said it more. He's in the media and he, connected to the Broncos organization. I think he was talking more to the Broncos organization and the media company he works for. Hey, get me a jersey.
Right.
So apparently it did get back to Riley Moss. Riley Moss signed it, sent him a jersey. I did see an interesting little fun fact, though.
What's that?
That the jersey switches.
Mm-hmm.
My dad used to complain and say, our equipment manager used to, we couldn't get our paycheck until our equipment manager got our jersey. How are they just giving these jerseys away?
Oh, I didn't know that either.
And then I saw a fun little snippet where it hasn't happened so much because they only order you so many jerseys.
Right.
And so it's a custom that's kind of gone out because the teams are like, nah, you have this many jerseys.
Right.
So it might happen like, we're going to do 3 throwbacks. It's the 3rd throwback game. You don't really need that jersey back. You're not going to wear it again that year. Then you can kind of get rid of it. But, there's so many home, away games. So, this last away game, you don't need the white one anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought that was interesting that, yeah, there is a limit to how many jerseys you can give away. But anyway, that just came up. So,
No.
Riley signed a jersey. It got sent to Lieb. Some broke working guy trying to feed his family, working 2 jobs, isn't who went. Lieb wasn't asking that fan to send him a jersey. He was like, hey, I'm part of this media thing now. I'm still connected to the team. I'm still connected to the organization. I want a Moss jersey.
Yeah.
And then he wore it on his show and people were like, oh my God, is that man wearing his own jersey? And everyone's like, no, it's a Riley Moss jersey. Like, he can't win for losing.
Yeah, it's true.
If you hear this, Talib, I spend a lot of my time defending you. If you'd like to hire me, I'll send you my resume.
Could you imagine a show with you and Talib?
No. But I don't mean on a show. I just mean as constant PR to come out.
Oh, PR. Gotcha.
Hey, Lieb's not asking the working fan, who's skipping groceries for a week to buy a ticket to see the Broncos in person to send them a jersey. He means, hey, Broncos organization, remember I won you that Super Bowl? Send me a jersey. No, Lieb is not wearing his own jersey on a podcast. He's showing support for the quarterback that now wears it for the team.
Yes. Absolutely.
I can just, run interference for him.
There you go. My last good was Zach Allen. Had 1 sack and 5 tackles. And I mean, I know we talk a lot about Cooper. We talk a lot about Benito. I feel like, he's only talked about when he makes certain plays. A lot of people fail to realize how impactful he can be in all the phases of the defensive plays.
Part of that's just, he's in the trenches and people the O-line doesn't get talked about until they do something one way or the other, right?
Right.
But I have him as a good. Zach Allen was a menace this game.
Yes.
And if you go back all over the all 22, he brought big quarterback pressure. Yes, his 1 sack, his 1 big pass breakup, but he was in the backfield almost every single play. He was a freaking menace and just seemed unblockable this game.
Yep.
Yes, a lot of that defensive success came because Zach Allen just did not let up. So I had him on there. I have him on there. I have the whole defense as a whole. I hate the bend don't break because to me it's frustrating. Those 5-6 yard passes, the 3-yard runs, and because it just chips away, and then they're in the red zone. And then finally, then the stop comes.
Yes.
But I looked back over the numbers because third down really bugs me. But CJ Stroud on that opening drive got 2 third down conversions. And then the whole rest of the game, there was only one more. So they went 3 for 17 overall in that game on third down.
Interesting.
So, the bend don't break. Again, this is the 4th out of 9 games. So almost half the games we played, the defense has not allowed a touchdown.
Yes.
There were 4 sacks. I got to give it up to Greenlaw. He stuffed that run.
Yes.
Those goal line runs did not make it in because they met Drew Greenlaw.
Yep.
And they weren't penalized.
Yeah, I can only count really maybe 2, maybe 3 times they were penalized that game. I might be wrong though.
And then I got to give it up to your guy Hufanga. His high level of play continues. Yep. He sees the field so well and just flies everywhere. You talk about a ball hawk, there he is. He big tackles, and then he almost had 2 interceptions. Someone needs to play catch with him and teach him how to catch those balls.
Yeah, that
not our receivers though. Maybe RJ Harvey can.
Yeah, there was one play specifically where I was like, "Oh, he really should have had that one."
So yeah, and 2 of those sacks of our 4 were on CJ. The short time he was in the game.
Yes.
So I don't know that CJ was going to have a very good day. He'd already hit the turf twice.
Yes.
But CJ did go 6 for 10 for 79 yards. Davis Mills ended up 17 for 30 for 132 yards. It's still 4.6. And that's what kills me. Every reception was about 4.6 yards.
So
it seems like a lot. Those numbers don't seem to line up in my head. Except this was a good game of all those years where Denver couldn't score. Our offense couldn't score, and we kept hitting field goals. And I kept going, we're not going to win with field goals. And that moment that we were up 7-6, all of a sudden, I was like, that's why we don't win. That's why we didn't win those games. Because we put in all that work, all that time of possession, all that driving, and we come up short. And the other team just has to do a couple good things, and they're ahead.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate the defense. It was very much a good, but I did during the game. It didn't feel like they stopped their down, but then they did.
Yeah. It's always interesting going back and looking at the numbers once the game is over, and you get that realization like, oh, it seemed so much worse than it was, but it really wasn't. Which, you're not going to see me complaining about it. But I believe that covers everything from this game.
Yes.
All right. So, let's go around the NFL. Do you want to start with injuries or trade deadline first? This should be interesting.
I don't know. I know some people are upset the Broncos didn't trade.
Oh yeah, we should give our thoughts on that. So yeah, let's talk about that. What are we thinking on the standing pat at the trade deadline? Because I have some thoughts on it.
I don't know. I kind of wanted Waddle. I wouldn't have been mad at Rashid Shaheed from the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
I thought maybe, I can't say his name, David Njoku, because maybe he's good at that intermediate pass game. Maybe he could teach Bo.
Yeah.
If that's the problem, why we don't throw those balls. And I also thought maybe Demarius Davis for linebacker depth. So those are some things I had. But it's I always go back to this, in that football is a team sport.
Mm-hmm.
And if the locker room is not 100% together, there's going to be struggling on the field.
Right.
And this locker room, it's almost corny how much they like each other. They wear each other's t-shirts. They always have each other's back. Oh no, Bo is the guy. You ask Bo, well, Cortland dropped that pass, and he's like, I should have thrown it better. Like, I don't know that you can mess with that.
Right.
And receivers especially have the reputation of AJ Brown.
Yeah.
And as soon as they're not getting what they want, they throw a little fit. And, that's not Denver's culture.
Mm-mm.
And so I worried about bringing in Waddle. And then if Sean was going to, call 20 screen passes, Waddle's not going to sit quietly on the sideline. He's not going to come out wearing a Bo Nix shirt.
Right.
So I kind of got to agree. You don't mess with something that's working.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. I was really hoping the only thing that I would have been okay with, like, I knew right off the bat, like, Denver's not going to do anything unless it's like we need like kind of like a holy crap moment. Like, but I didn't see like that kind of moment happening. My biggest hope is that I was hoping that we would have at least gotten someone while Ben Powers was recovering, so like a backup left guard. So I know Evan Neal was out there, but he's ending to stick with the Giants. I think we would have only gotten. I know they said that Denver did ask about Jalen Waddle, but that Miami was asking for at least a first round pick and plus more. So we're not sure what more means, but I think the general consensus was that it was probably going to be like a first and a third round pick and possibly a player for Jalen Waddle. And as you said, like, I wouldn't want to mess with that locker room culture. And if we have to get rid of a player in order to get someone who, I was even looking at Jalen Waddle's contract situation. I worry that if he started regressing later on down the road, he was going to be paid. I think it was almost Russell Wilson money a year. Not $245 million for 5 years, but I think it was like he was going to make like the dead cap, I think, from in 2027 was like $33 million. And if he was going to start regressing, like, I don't want to have to pay the guy $33 million for him not to play for us anymore. So I would think keep the culture as it is. If something happens and the Dolphins end up doing well and they decide, you know what, let's just rebuild instead, maybe then we'll try to go for Jalen Waddle if the price is right. Another player I was thinking of that possibly would look forward to, well, not forward to, that we could look into was TJ Hawkinson of the Vikings, because he's a good pass catching tight end. But I don't
sign that contract, didn't he?
I think he did one thing, and then I think he was like he's part of Minnesota's future. So I don't think they were going to be willing to part with him. Shaheed, yeah, I was hoping that he would have joined Denver, but I mean, just what Seattle got for him, I was thinking like, I feel like I think if Denver came to the phone and Seattle, New Orleans asked, I think it was like a 4th and a 5th rounder, I think is what it was to get him. I honestly, actually, Denver didn't have a 5th rounder, so doesn't have a 5th rounder this year. So that was probably the tricky part to it. But Denver has, I think, like 3 4th rounders. So if we package like 2 4th rounders for I mean, even then, for someone who is on an expiring contract too, if we'd given up maybe 1 4th rounder for him, then yes, I would have done it. But I think a lot of the media threw out smoke, saying like Denver's going to make this big move. And I think that's got a lot. I mean, GMs and coaches probably aren't looking at Twitter throughout the entirety of, what's it called? Trade deadline day. And like, Denver's possibly going to go for this guy. We should probably sweeten the deal a little bit and he can come to us. I don't think that's how it works. In my fantasy world, that's how it works because it means that some of these teams are giving up the 1st rounders, the 2nd rounders, and the 3rd rounders just to get a guy that is on an expiring contract. So, given the culture of the team, it would have had to been a move that would have put Denver in the tier of Buffalo, Baltimore, and Kansas City for me to be happy with a trade. I don't think Denver saw anything that developed in that way. And with the whole team chemistry, I think they were just fine with who they were. So, am I sad they didn't make moves? Not really. Would I love to see at least one move made? I wouldn't be mad about it if it was if it was something that was going to address a need. But given where Denver is, and also another thing that I wanted to point out, I also think Denver couldn't really make any deals because we're still paying motherfucking Russell Wilson the last bit of his contract, and so I don't think we had a whole lot of money to sway a trade anyways. But I firmly believe that this upcoming offseason, the 2026 offseason, when Russell Wilson's off those books, Broncos country is going to have some fun with some of these pending free agents.
We shall see.
Yep. One trade that did happen that was one of the bigger ones was Sauce Gardner is now Indianapolis Colt.
Yes.
The Colts gave up 2 first-round picks just to get him and a player. Seeing as how they're giving up on their first rounders, or they traded away their 2 first rounders.
Well, because we all know that defense wins championships.
Yes.
This will be interesting because Sauce isn't quite as good as he used to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, ever since they started calling his holding.
Yep.
So it'd be interesting to see if they keep calling his holding. Also, the Colts had an interesting game where, you know, if you take Jonathan Taylor out of the game, Daniel Jones doesn't look like Indianapolis.
Someone said that he regressed to New York Giants. He dressed up as New York Giants Daniel Jones for this game.
Yeah, Danny Dimes disappeared for a day.
Yep.
6 turnovers?
4 turnovers.
4 turnovers. Oh yeah, that's better. 4 turnovers. You can say what you want about, you know, I don't have a quarterback for 3 quarters, but I ain't got a quarterback giving up 4 turnovers. Knock on wood.
Also with this trade, because the whole thought process for Indy this season, and seeing as how we're halfway through the season now that they've become a big surprise, this trade kind of shows, because they gave up 2 first-rounders, is Indy believing in Danny Dimes to lead them to the promised land?
Yeah.
Never thought I'd hear those words coming out of my mouth.
Shows.
I never thought I'd hear that, but here we are.
Well, it's interesting because, that's why they got rid of Peyton, so that Andrew Luck could get him there.
Yep.
Because that's Israel's famous, quote going, well, we really want to win another Super Bowl.
Have you won another Super Bowl since, Indy?
No, he is not. So, yeah. I mean, we shall see how this works out.
And then
Gardner, I do assume Gardner is a big personality.
Yes.
So
sure is.
This might be when you accidentally dump salt instead of sugar into the recipe.
Yeah.
But it might not. It might make it all come together. So, but yeah, that's the biggest trade that I saw. I didn't really see anything else.
Yeah, the only other ones I can think of right now were the Jets were on like a fire sale. Quinn Williams ended up going to Dallas.
Well, what? They're 1-8, 1-7?
1-7. Yeah, so it makes sense. Although, actually, that was another thing. A lot of Broncos fans were hoping that maybe Garrett Wilson would have came to Denver since he's in New York with the Jets, but Garrett Wilson didn't end up getting moved. One player that didn't end up getting moved, that a lot of it seemed like he was a little not salty, that he was surprised he wasn't moved, was Breece Hall. Because he went on to oh my God, they're leaving, and then everyone's thinking oh, maybe he's available for trade. I did hear though that Kansas City did offer the Jets, I think, a 3rd and a 4th rounder to get Breece Hall, and you know what the Jets said?
No.
Nope. So good for you, Jets.
Thank you.
It's always fun when a team says no to Kansas City. But I think that was pretty much all the big trades that happened. And then the Shaheed one we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
So I understand that you have some thoughts on the length of time that Jaden Daniels was on the field on Sunday night.
Well, I don't understand why everyone's all up in arms about it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he's still in the game. I know it's 38-14, but not a lot of quarterbacks leave despite a huge deficit.
Mm-hmm.
Russ Wilson stayed in that whole terrible debacle of the 70-20.
Right.
Bo Nix stayed in the whole game against the Ravens when it was 41-10.
Mm-hmm.
That was just last November. I mean, quarterbacks have to lead and be a part of the team in big losses too. Is there some new rule that we're down by 3 scores, so now we're going to sit our quarterback? Why is this such a discussion?
I don't know. I think it really varies.
Everyone might get hurt on every play of the game. CJ Stroud got hurt in the second quarter.
Mm-hmm.
But isn't it just common practice that the team stays in and takes the loss? That if you haven't stopped the other team, if you haven't scored any points, you go play for 60 minutes. Has that rule changed?
No. Not that I know of.
Okay. I mean, I know a lot of games this season have only been 1 or 2 score games.
Right.
There haven't been all that many blowouts. But I don't understand the criticism of why this is a new quarterback still. It's only his second year. He's already missed some games.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't he need the reps and the experience and the real game time situation? And weren't they almost scoring?
I think so.
Weren't they in the red zone?
I'm fairly certain they were in the red zone.
I don't understand. First thing on Monday morning, I can't believe Jaden Daniels was still in that game. I'm sorry. Was there a new rule I didn't know about that second year quarterbacks come out once they're down by 20?
Unless it's an unwritten rule.
So I don't know. I'm just confused with all the discussion. I don't, you know. I don't get the hoopla. I'm sorry he's out. I'm sorry he's hurt. The team still hasn't seemed to release if he'll be on IR or not.
They haven't. They just said that he's out indefinitely. They have. I don't even think they.
I mean, I know they've stuck him in an MRI machine by now.
Yeah, but
there's no way they didn't have him one on Monday morning.
And the weirdest part is they never even gave us the results of that MRI.
Right. Because it depends how it is, and it's a non-throwing arm. So it's one of those ones like Surtain where it's 4 to 6 weeks if it's the least amount of damage, and it could need surgery if it's the most amount of damage. So, and if it's the least amount where it's 4 to 6, they might be sitting on it. Like Surtain said, oh, it says 4 to 6, but I don't think I'll need all 4 weeks.
Mm.
But yeah, that's really weird.
So I'm just reading right now. It said that the Commanders are meeting today. If they haven't met already, they're meeting tonight.
Well,
to get a clear idea.
It's 10:30 your time. Surely they're not meeting at 10:30.
No, I don't
think
think
Congress.
It sounds like there should be a clearer idea of his injury by the end of the week, is what he said. So they're going to go through a final medical meeting today regarding second opinions to put the plan together. We should have an update for you. We should have an update for you here in the next day or so. So we'll know either tomorrow or Friday.
Okay.
But given the way that elbow bends, I don't think he is going to be playing on Sunday night against the Broncos. Because if he's placed on IR, that means he's going to be out for our game.
Right. And I think that's what they're trying to avoid and not announcing it.
Right.
So I think they have to say by some time.
Yeah, I think they have to list. I think because in order to be placed on IR, they have to do it, I think, by Saturday. Okay. Unless there's a setback. Because I think that's how the whole PS2 thing has been working, because they had up until Saturday last week, this past Saturday, to put him on IR. They didn't, which means that they anticipate him to be back after the bye. So
I was just curious why everybody was all up in arms about it.
I don't know. Who knows at this rate? I couldn't find a perfect way to segue to this, so I'm just gonna say this one, and I think you had this too. I honestly thought after that debacle Miami dealt with last Thursday, that was going to be the end-all be-all for Mike McDaniel. I didn't realize that, well, not that I didn't realize, I did not have the Miami Dolphins would fire their or technically they said mutually agree to part ways, but honestly, they're basically saying they fired him. Firing their GM.
I don't think they fired him.
You don't think so?
Well, keep going.
No, I was just going to say that the Dolphins and Chris Grier have mutually agreed to part ways 12 hours roughly after their loss to the Ravens. And they even went on the record to saying Mike McDaniel is set to at least coach the rest of the season.
So I can see why you would leave Mike Daniels in as coach. It's a lost season.
Mm-hmm.
You probably don't want anyone to try to step up. Like I said, I would never step up into the interim role. Mike Daniels got fired and I'm on that coaching staff and they come knock on my door and go, hey, I go, no. And I stay right here in this box. I am not putting my face on this team and trying to lead this debacle. I cannot right the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I am so that meme. If we are ever in a situation where I am the voice of reason, we are in a bad situation. I really hope that the Dolphins and Chris Grier parted ways mutually and respectfully.
Yep.
Because if we recall, if we go back on our way back machine to 2019, Brian Flores claimed the owner, Stephen Ross, was offering $100,000 per loss as a bonus. And Brian Flores supposedly said, oh, hell no, I ain't losing on purpose. And in 2020, Brian Flores' record, 10-6. In 2021, Brian Flores' record, 9-8. And after that 2021 season, they said, oh, Brian Flores, you are fired.
After 9-8.
And Brian Flores said, oh, then I'm going to sue you for discrimination. And the NFL did punish the Dolphins, but not for discrimination. Not for trying to tank football games. For tampering with Tom Brady.
Yep.
So the Flores case is still unsettled.
That's true.
But the very protected and very much insider and very much right-hand man to Stephen Ross.
Gone.
Chris Grier.
Yep. Interesting.
If you have not mutually parted ways with this man, he has all your secrets to this unsettled court case. I do not believe they fired him. Because if they did fire him, I expect a whole bunch of headlines in about 6 weeks.
Yep.
So when they say mutually decided, we shall see.
We shall see indeed. I'm interested. Now you got me hooked like a what's it called? Like bad reality TV. But that's all I have.
And a player, I can't remember the player, but a player got paid money and was allowed to be traded after the trade deadline because he came out and said the same thing and said they're making us tank.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I just can't think of his name right now.
I can never remember his name when I'm trying to think about it. But he said, this is not why I play in the NFL.
You know what? We're going to look it up. See.
And they allowed him to move after the trade deadline. So there is some truth to these. Now, but that was the year before when it was, quote, tank for Tua.
Yes. Let's see. Nope, nothing pops up. Definitely something. Okay, I'm going to keep that in the back of my mind, and I'm going to research it and find out and see who that player was. Because now I'm invested. Invested like a bad soap opera. But that's all I had from around. Well, except for my game of the week.
Yeah, I'm down to game of the week too.
All right, so
it's your turn to go first.
All right, so I went with Patriots and Buccaneers.
Okay.
I'm curious to see how New England does against top competition on the road, because I was actually looking at their schedule while I was looking at this game of the week. And I really wish I had just written it down. I just blanked. I blanked at that point. So I'm like, oh, this is actually a good one. So the Patriots so far this regular season, they lost to the Raiders the first game of the season. They beat the Dolphins. Then they lost to the Steelers. So they were 1-2, just like Denver. During their 6-game winning streak, they've beaten the Carolina Panthers, the Buffalo Bills, which good win there. I ended up seeing that game. The Saints, the Titans, the Browns, and they barely squeaked by the Falcons. So outside of the Bills game, and I mean the Panthers.
I was just gonna say, do any of those teams have winning records?
The Panthers now do have a winning record, so that Panthers win's looking a little bit better. But you take away the Panthers and the Bills, they've beaten the Saints, Titans, Browns, and Falcons. Neither of those teams are at 500. Or all 4 of those teams are under 500. With that being said, though,
but that's not what we hear when we hear about Drake May. We hear about how he's the next Tom Brady.
Yes.
And that England's ready to go on another 20-year run.
Right.
I'm just making sure, because I don't hear things like this against Drake May.
I don't hear anything like that either. So I'm now looking at their schedule after this Buccaneers game. They have probably the easiest schedule the rest of the way.
Just what Tom Brady always had. Oh, my bad.
They have the Jets next Thursday. Then they have the Bengals, both teams under 500. The Giants under 500. They have the Bills at home. They're over 500, which we know that. They have the Patriots on the road, which by the time
they are the Patriots.
Ravens. Sorry.
Ravens. Okay. I'm like, wait a minute.
They play the Ravens on the road. But then they end their season with the Jets and the Dolphins.
Well, the Jets and the Dolphins are in their division.
Yeah.
And before Allen showed up to the Bills, that was the thing. Brady winning that division against the Bills, the Dolphins, and the Jets every year wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't the AFC West of today.
Right. So looking at
this Patriots right now is the same thing. Other than the Bills, the Dolphins and the Jets are struggling. And they've lucked out where the Saints are not good anymore. They're rebuilding. The Titans aren't good anymore. Though I still think Cam Ward's going to be a success.
Yeah.
The Browns are struggling. The Bengals are struggling, and the Giants are struggling. Those normally would be better teams.
Yeah.
So they're not going to pump the brakes on the Drake May hype
No.
But no, it's not as impressive as what Bo Nix is doing. But they're not going to talk about that. They're going to go. He is the second coming of Brady for the Patriots. They are ready for their legacy, for another legacy. They're just ready for years of domination, and they have found their guy.
Which, on that note, I'm kind of wondering, when they play the Bucs and they play the Bills and possibly the Patriots, how will Drake May perform against teams that are basically in the playoff hunt? That's going to be the real test.
And the Ravens. You said the Patriots again.
Oh my gosh. Sorry.
I'm talking. The Patriots are playing the Patriots? What?
That would be fun. That would be something to see. I mean, we see it in practice, but so when they play the I did it again. When they play the Buccaneers, the Bills, and the Ravens, there you go, got it. I want to see how these Patriots look, because if they struggle against these three teams, this team is likely going to be as well as they've been this season, as well as Drake May has been. I wouldn't be surprised if they were one and done, because they have not played the competition that these other AFC teams have played. And also, we see Drake May go up against Baker Mayfield.
Go Baker.
Go Baker. And that game will be at 1 o'clock. So while the Broncos play tomorrow, it looks like it's going to rain on Sunday. So I'm just going to sit in front of my TV and watch some Patriots and Buccaneers. See if the Patriots are the real deal. All right, you're up.
I picked the Purple Bowl.
Ravens and Vikings?
Yep. Ravens travel to the Vikings. McCarthy's back after, Wentz was sacrificed for him. He had a great game, big win. He's at the top of all the headlines again. Ravens got Lamar back, and he was prime Lamar, 19 out of 23, 204 yards, 4 touchdowns, 143 QBR. So, purple on purple.
Purple on purple. I love that. What time is that game at? Is that 1 o'clock one too, though?
Probably.
Dang. All right, guess I'll have to split screen that one then.
Yeah. Let me see. Ravens at Vikings. There it is. No. Well, because it's 10 a.m. my time. I forget 1 o'clock are your early games.
Yeah. All right, so I'll have to split screen
that. No, it's at 10.
It's fun having football at 10 a.m. though. I'm pretty sure.
It's great. I don't have to do something in the morning.
Right. Let's get to sit with your coffee, maybe a Bloody Mary if you'd like to.
A mimosa. I got a big jug of pre-made mimosa,
Right. Living the life. All right. Now that we've talked about the games that you should be watching, let's focus on our game. And it's a good thing I'm going to try to get this podcast up tomorrow, because we play tomorrow night. And two things. First off, it is throwback week. So we get to see the glorious throwback uniforms. And second of all, something that at least Kelly always says on this podcast, it is Raider week. And as Kelly always says,
fuck the Raiders.
Yes, this is going to be the first time this season that we get to see the Las Vegas Raiders. They have been
atrocious, terrible, awful.
Yeah, mostly atrocious, terrible, awful. They did get the win against the Patriots at the beginning of the year, but since then, it's not been pretty.
They beat the Chiefs too?
They lost to the Chiefs, 31-0.
Oh. Who did the Chiefs lose to? The Chargers and
the Chargers, the Eagles, the Bills. And the Jaguars.
The Jaguars. That's the one I'm trying to think of. Hey.
But, speaking of the Jaguars, the Raiders are coming off of a loss to them, in which they took them to overtime, and they got the touchdown. Extra point, they could have played for the tie, but like, no, we'll go for 2. Which, granted, I'm okay with them going for 2, but gosh, that was a terrible 2-point conversion.
Another thing I don't understand are the new overtime rules.
Oh.
Both teams get possession of the ball unless the opening drive goes for the touchdown, unless you're the Jaguars, and then the Raiders get the ball?
No, I think now they change it to if the first team scores a touchdown and the second team scores a touchdown, then it's next score.
But, hold on. But yeah, they even said on the broadcast.
I'm actually going to look because I actually didn't see the whole overtime, but I know something funky happened in that one. Let's see.
Okay, so NFL overtime rules ensure both teams have a possession in regular season and postseason games, with regular season games lasting 10 minutes and postseason games using 15-minute periods until a winner is decided.
Yes. So what had happened in that game was both teams.
Oh, okay. Now it said when I looked it up, it said something different. Where unless. Yeah, now it says does not in the game, but I swear to God on Sunday when I looked it up, that does not was not there.
Gotcha.
I swear, because I kept reading it and rereading it. And I was on the phone with Leo, and he looked it up, and he's like, he said, I missed it on the screen, but he said even on the screen it said it.
Oh, okay.
So I don't, because he was like, no, if the Jags score, they win. And I was like, no, they changed it so that both teams get the ball. And he was like, no, it said it on the thing. So I don't, our eyes were just blind to every does not. Okay, whatever.
It's okay.
But yes, the Raiders lost.
Yeah, the Raiders did lose. Both teams did score a touchdown. The Raiders just didn't get the point they needed to keep overtime going.
Yeah, but there was only like a minute left.
Yeah, I think I was reading. I think there was only 40-some seconds left.
Yeah. So yeah, you have to go for the win because then otherwise it's just going to be a tie.
Yeah. It's like, so do you play for the tie or do you go for the win? So Pete Carroll's like, let's just go for the win. To win the game. Yep.
Although our 2-point conversion made me really nervous too.
Yes. Thank goodness for Duck Dynasty.
Yeah. Franklin can catch them 2-point conversion balls, man.
Yes. Oh yeah. The Raiders, despite being 2-6, they have 3 important players I'm keeping an eye on, and that is Ashton Jeanty, the rookie running back from Boise State, the guy I was hoping Denver would have drafted, but of course the Raiders swept up. Obviously, no. Okay, I get it. The Raiders were drafting 6th. They needed a running back. I had the high hope that the Raiders were gonna Raider and draft someone other than Jeanty, but they didn't. They actually didn't Raider this time, but they've Raidered this season thus far. They also have Brock Bowers, which, oh my gosh,
I was so hoping he would have got traded.
Yeah, I
think not to us, just anywhere.
Yeah, oh no, maybe he didn't sign an extension. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. Hufnaga. No, I did it again. Oh, how do you say his name? Hufanga. There we go. Hufanga, your job this week is to make sure Brock Bowers does not get any touchdowns or go for long periods of long gains. And then on defense, Max Crosby still gives me Max Crosby for some reason will always have a good game against Denver. Although he didn't in the home game last year. I think he had 1 sack. That was it. But Man.
Bo's memeable face.
Yes.
Crosby got in his face and Bo just it's like anything, Ron talked about this. I've talked about this. Denver seems to play down to its competition. So we're going to come out playing like we're the 2-6 team. I don't know where that comes from. I don't know why it comes from. And, it's very funny because I happened to listen to our podcast and I finished the episode and I wasn't really paying attention. And so it looped over into our pilot. And I was listening to our pilot for a little while because it was so long ago.
Yeah.
And the first thing I was complaining about?
What's that?
Denver defense can't cover a tight end.
Yeah. We've known this for a long time now.
Good.
And guess what Brock Bowers is?
Because I've said that all the time. I've said, I bet I said it on our very first podcast. I say this over and over again. Denver cannot cover a tight end for years. So Brock Bowers, that's what brought it up. Crosby, Bowers, Gentry, it's the same, what Ron said about, Bryce Young, teams don't have good games until they face us.
Right.
Oh, that's the longest play from scrimmage. Suddenly everything goes out the window. And it doesn't matter. I don't care if it's the last game of the season and the Raiders come in 0-16 into Mile High. They're going to play us. It's almost like a college rivalry game with us. It's like, you got to beat the Broncos and we have to beat the Raiders. And I don't really care about the rest of the season as a whole during Raider week. It's just, you got to beat the Raiders.
Right.
I didn't break down a whole lot of stats. Can we win 7 straight? Will the Raiders drop 3 in a row? They're coming in having lost a heartbreaker that goes one of two ways. They'll just be heartbroken and deflated, or they'll be like, no. Can Gino really handle our defense? Because he's not looking so hot.
Right.
He did well last week, 284 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, 117.9 quarterback rating. But he has the league high in interceptions. So Hufanga, go play catch with somebody and catch the ball this time. They go 3 for 4 in the red zone. They're still averaging 16 points a game.
Yeah.
Which is right up our alley because that's 2 touchdowns, 2 2-point conversions. I mean, we can get that in the fourth quarter. And Gino's averaging taking 2 sacks a game. He'll probably take more at Mile High. But, this is always a hard game.
Yes.
Always a hard game.
And
I'm hoping, begging, praying, pleading that they're not overlooking the Raiders because the Chiefs are next.
Right.
Right? Because the Chiefs at this point is kind of more important.
Yeah.
But we got to get through the Raiders first.
We're basically looking at a situation where if Denver beats the Raiders, they will have a 2.5 game lead going into the Kansas City game.
Right.
Basically putting Kansas City in a situation where if they don't win this game, they're 3.5 back with 7 games to go. So that's going to be really tough to come back from.
Yes, but we still need to do it.
Yes. And I think, I can't remember if Sean Payton said this or something that I've picked up. You just take it one game at a time.
That's what they all say.
That's true.
But there's not a saying, watch the trap game, because they all do it.
Oh, you think this might be a trap game? This could be a trap game, actually, now I'm thinking about it.
This is a trap game.
This is the trap game.
Because I know the philosophy is one game at a time.
Mm-hmm.
But who's really scared of the Raiders at this point?
Everyone in the AFC West, maybe? Except for Kansas City, since they shut them out. Oh, and the Chargers beat them this year too.
So come on, we can't be the only AFC West team they win against.
Right. Let's hope not. Because I will literally... that will ruin my entire weekend. That will ruin my weekend if we can't beat them.
But between the two... I don't know. I just really want to win the next two games.
Yes. I do too.
A part of me is like, if we got to drop a game, maybe we drop it to the Raiders and then take that into our little mini bye and then really buckle down for the Chiefs.
And win by 30 points.
And become your mom's most favorite player.
Whoa.
I love that commercial.
Yes.
But I really fucking hate the Raiders, and I don't want to lose to the Raiders.
No.
I say we go win them both.
Yeah, I would say when.
But yes, watch the trap. Fuck the Raiders, watch the trap, because that's what I'm worried about. I'm really worried, especially on a short week.
Yeah.
And we traveled to Houston, so
yeah,
we had to travel back and
mm-hmm. Oh, speaking of which, I can actually throw out the injury report for this game. So, because there's actually a full injury report this time around, instead of seeing who practiced and who didn't practice and this, that, and all that. And anyways, so if I can pull, okay, here we go. So you were talking about Jonathan Cooper got hurt. He does not have a game designation, so he's good to go. So the only players that have the game there's 4 that have game designations. PJ Locke has a neck injury. He is questionable for the game. Marvin Mims, Nate Adkins, Patrick Surtain, the 3 players that were out last week, are also out this week. So Mims did start practicing, but I think because the short week, it was going to be difficult for him to come back. So I would assume Marvin Mims will be back for the Kansas City game. And then we knew Surtain was going to be out at least these next 2 games. Nate Adkins, it's interesting that he's not playing anymore. Riley Moss had an ankle injury, but he doesn't have an injury designation. Will Lutz ended up falling sick on Tuesday, but was able to practice on Wednesday and is good to go. And Brandon Jones, DJ Jones, and John Franklin Myers with foot, knee, and shoulder injuries were limited or did not participate on Monday, but were full or limited on Tuesday, and all 3 were full today. So they are good to go. And then the Raiders, I checked them earlier today. There was not a player on there that stuck out to me that is going to be out or is questionable.
Okay.
Key storylines for me: can the Broncos get a signature division win? Will Denver contain Max Crosby? And does Las Vegas stop the Broncos defense? Which I'm hoping that they don't. Key matchups: Hufanga, I actually got it this time, versus Brock Bowers. Raiders secondary versus Cortland Sutton, and then J.K. Dobbins against the Raiders front 7. My X factor for this game is going to be Brandon Jones, because we've talked about Hufanga quite a bit. I would assume that if the Broncos front 7 can get to Geno Smith and he gets hit as he throws, Brandon Jones is right there, like, oh, my ball, interception. And we haven't really talked about, I don't think Brandon Jones has been talked about a lot this year. So
I mean, he's been a good player. He doesn't get a lot of credit. It's like Zach Allen. He's there and he's grinding, and it's there.
Yeah, it's there.
He's doing his part. It's just, it's just not talked about because it's not flashy.
Yeah, that's very true.
But we see you.
We see you, Brandon Jones. We see you. All right. So we both have this as a win, right?
Let me double check my records here.
Oh, and by the way, while Kelly's checking this episode is brought to you by Fuck the Raiders. Because
now, anywhere your Bronco...
Anywhere Bronco what?
Bronco merchandise is sold. Fuck the Raiders.
Yes.
Let's see. Nope, that's not us. This is us. Okay. Yep, we have Thursday night win against the Raiders.
Okay, so both wins. So are you sticking with that?
Yes, I still, we should win this game.
Okay.
I don't see any, it's a division game, but we're at home. We've got the hot hand. Our defense was still clicking, shut the Texans out of the end zone last week, even with our injuries. Bo Nix has stood up to Max Crosby.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Talib's trying to climb the wall. I'm trying to figure out what he's doing. If he's chasing something.
He's practicing.
If he jumps and comes down, he's going to break a whole bunch of pitchers.
Oh.
Levy, what you doing? Lee. What you doing? Come here. You okay?
Kitty.
Okay. So I don't see a reason we should lose other than it's just a division game and they get wacky sometimes.
Right. I'm going to say the same thing. Definitely should be a win. If we don't win, I'm going to be very sad for 10 days. And then it'll be extremely sad if we'll beat the Chiefs. Although it won't be as bad.
Then we go into a bye. Oh my goodness. Yes.
Yeah.
2 losses before our bye.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Be 7-4? No. Don't do that to us, Broncos.
No. But let's at least go 8-3. But best case scenario, if we go
9-2.
If we go
9-2.
If we go 9-2 into this bye, I will be the most happiest person in the world. It'll be absolutely glorious.
We're gonna run out of alcohol.
I know, I swear, I don't know what it if we win here, I need to preserve some of this whiskey here because I think this is the second bottle I've bought during this winning streak. So I'm we have to resort to something else because, yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
I mean, I love winning. I just don't know.
I'll chip in. You need more alcohol if we keep winning. Yeah, keep winning, keep winning.
I'm just kind of actually, I'm not really worried about the liver part of it, but my liver's like, dude, this is the 7th week in a row on a Wednesday.
It's gonna be 9.
It's gonna be 9. Then it's gonna be 10.
And we have a bye week. You can get a break.
Yes, you will get a bye before Thanksgiving, so don't worry. Don't you worry. You'll be okay. I think liver's right here. Yeah, liver's right here. Yep, we're good. Okay. So you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Now that we're done talking about livers, I think that's all we have this week.
That's all I've got.
All right. There's something I was going to mention. Oh, there was one thing I did want to mention. So I wanted to bring this up before I forgot because it is November. So I want to read something real quick. as you can see from my upper lip area, I have a mustache. Every November, I do Movember. So, Movember's mission is to stop men from dying too young by raising funds and awareness for prostate cancer, testicular cancer, mental health, and suicide prevention. The organization's overarching goal is to have an everlasting impact on men's health, enabling men to live happier, healthier, and longer lives through innovative research and support programs. It's also next Tuesday, since we're not going to be on this time, it is going to be Veterans Day. So, the one half of my amazing dynamic duo over here had a son that was in the military, and so we would like to thank those that have served.
Very much. Thank you. We appreciate you. We love you. We support you.
Yes. We appreciate you putting your life on the line. Yeah, I was gonna say life on the line every day. And thank you for your service. I know of a couple friends that were in the military. One of which was my mother, who served in the Air Force before I was born. So I thank her for her service. I thank for every person that I've met that has served in any branch of the military, because you put your lives on the line so that we could live in this country that celebrates freedom. I think I said that right. I'm hoping I said that right. So protect men's mental health. Thank you for everyone that has served. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. On that note, care to close us out?
Okay. As always, you can find me on X at I Love to Lead.
You can find me at TieFlyGuy15.
You can find us both at the same time.
At in_com_plete_2.
Because there's two of us. The same at in_com_plete_2 is on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And all those DMs are open for song requests, challenge flags, topic requests, guest requests, questions, comments, and or concerns. We have two requests that if you're going to argue with us, that's fine. We're open for debate. Just be respectful. And please, when sliding into anybody's DMs anytime, be clothed.
Dang. Okay.
If sliding into someone's DMs is not for you, you can send us an email
at in_com_plete@outlook.com. And as you can see scrolling down below, we are live every Wednesday at 9:15 my time, 8:15 Central, 7:15 Mountain Time, which most of you are at, and 6:15 Kelly time. If you are unable to watch us live, which I understand because it is a work night, school night, whatever profession that you run or that you work at, or if you have kids that go to school, we do have our audio version of the podcast, which this week will actually come out tomorrow morning. So it'll be out shorter than the 24 hours because we have a game on Thursday, so we kind of have to get it out. That is on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, basically anywhere it is that you get your podcast. My only request is that if you could leave a comment, leave a review on any of those, because we love doing this show very much. But if you don't tell us what you would like to see changed, there's nothing we can do. And I've also come to the conclusion that we are not everyone's cup of tea, but Kelly is, though.
A shot of whiskey.
And
I don't know that I'm whiskey per se. That's an old saying. You know, I might not be someone's cup of tea because I'm a shot of whiskey. Yeah, I prefer vodka, but that's not the same.
How this? We're not everyone's cup of tea. We are a shot of your favorite hard liquor. Because
especially on Victory Podcasts.
Exactly. Especially on Victory Podcasts, we are on the hard liquor stuff. And so if it's something you don't enjoy, it's not going to hurt us that much. At least be honest. But on that note, and until then, and until next time.
Go Broncos.